JOY's back in the building with another reaction video. There's some children that have to live an unfortunate and pathetic, embarrassing reality, you know. Not caused by them, but caused by their parents, you know. There's certain youths out here. Their parents is so abrupt, their parents is so pathetic that the kids have to go to school with a hungry belly. Their parents can't afford to pay for school meals. So the youths them have to steal food to fill their hungry belly. Let's get into this reaction video, man.
A joint investigation by the Evening Standard and The Independent has revealed an escalating hunger crisis among children in poverty who are not eligible for free school meals. As many as 800,000 children in England fit into this category. Head teachers and youth workers report that it's leading to desperate behaviour, with pupils stealing food to eat as the cost of living crisis bites. Youth worker Jack Price, who works in 3 South London schools, describes what he sees on a daily basis.
I don't think people realise that a lot of these young people actually just go hungry.
This is a real thing, you know. I know a man. Me and a man was talking about this about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. We was talking about the struggles of growing up poor, growing up from a disadvantaged background and that. I was all telling him, I remember during the summer holidays, man was rolling around with like 20, 30p in my pocket and you get me, that had to last me a day, a couple days and that. So we was talking about the struggles of growing up poor, growing up broke. And a man told me that his mum was working, but his mum was on a low wage and that. So she couldn't qualify for both free school meals for her son and free travel for her son. Remember back in the day, the Oyster card said that. Remember, and I'm assuming it still happens now, the youths then get free travel to school 11 to 15 or 11 to 16 years old. So because his mum was working, but she was on a dead wage and that, she couldn't qualify for both free school meals for her son and also free travel to school for her son. So they said to her, you pick one or the other. Either your son gets free school meals or he gets free travel, but you can't have both. So his mum said, boy, I'm going to have to just send you to school. You're going to have to get free travel. The youth used to go to school and he never ate lunch, you know. So imagine, the situation, imagine the youth needed to leave his yard at about 6 o'clock in the morning. So therefore, he's getting up at like 5:30 and he's eating breakfast. He leaves his yard around 6, 6:15. He has to travel to school. His school's far away as well, 1.5 hours, yeah. So he's leaving his yard at like 6:15, 6:30. He gets to school at 8 o'clock. From 8 till 12, that's 4 hours. From 12 to 3, that's 3 hours, yeah. So at 7 hours now, he's left school. It's going to take him about 1.5 hours, 2 hours to get home. He's not eating until he gets home. So he's not eating for 9 hours, you know, because his mum could not afford to give him money for school dinners. The youth was hungry throughout school. I told my mum this. She was like, he is lying. I said, Mum, he's telling the truth. I believe him. Why would a man make his mum and put his mum in a position where a man could think that his mum was pathetic and that? Imagine touching down at school at 8 in the morning and not getting back to your yard until 5. You're not eating throughout that time. Imagine how sad that is. Imagine how hungry you must have been. Now, obviously, a man's probably scavenging and foraging for food and that, but blood, you shouldn't have to do that. This is what happens when parents don't make preparations. This is what happens when parents are on a jolting. Their children have to suffer. Sad. Sad.
A lot of these young people will just stay silent because they understand the hardships of their parents or their family or their guardians. They know that times are tough and they're not trying to put the burden on their parents and saying, well, Mum, I ain't really got breakfast. I haven't eaten at break or lunch. Playground is meant to be a place where kids are having fun, and now that fun you can see is washed down with kids who are hungry. You're seeing kids share food. Kids are robbing. Kids are stealing from supermarkets.
The youths them are not in the playground chasing around each other, playing, eating them things there for fun. No, youths are chasing around each other, foraging for food, but man are hustling for food in the playground, blood. What kind of madness is this, blood? Is this some fucking market in Africa or something? Coming like a scene out of fucking Aladdin. You know, in the youth, I'm sure it's in Aladdin, the youth goes to the market and he thieves something or something like that.
Because they're hungry. No kid wants to do the bad thing. No kid wants to steal, but they're taking food because they're hungry. The amount of people who are going through these struggles is growing.
Food charities say the number of school food banks they supply in London has doubled in 3 years. Every Wednesday at St Mary's Primary School in Battersea, parents queue for the food bank. What's surprising is that most have jobs. They don't earn enough to pull out of poverty, but they get more than £7,400 a year, and it means, crucially, their children are no longer eligible for free school meals.
See what I mean?
Free school meals aren't enough.
That's exactly what I said with my man. Yeah? So his mum was working, but she wasn't earning enough, so therefore she's not eligible for free school meals. Or she had to pick of one or the other.
Enough anymore. The way it works, the way...
So the youth had to go to school hungry, blood.
Meals, you're only able to buy one school meal. So let's say snack items or bottle of waters, that takes away from the credit for the one school meal. A young person needs food to just operate, let alone to be doing well in school. And, you know, the way that these topics work hand in hand with each other, you see that young people who aren't eating healthy meals or they're not eating enough food at all, they will do badly in school.
Wait a minute.
At school.
I just discovered something, you know. I just had an epiphany. The reason why the young black youths are bad in school is because they're hungry, so therefore they can't concentrate. That must be it. That must be the reason why the young black youths, blood, I'm telling you, you need food in your system, you know, to concentrate, you know. Never, I'm telling you, don't ever step in the exam hall on a hungry belly, blood. Don't you ever do that. You're going to fail, blood. You need food to concentrate, yeah? So this is probably the reason why the young black youths are failing in school and that. Because they're going to school with a hungry belly, so therefore they can't even concentrate on that. Them man, they are not thinking about school books and, you get me, maths equation. And them man, they're thinking about cheeseburgers and filling up their belly. Madness.
Because if they can't do well in school, how would they be able to apply themselves in real life? How would they be able to get a good education?
At Mandeville Primary in Hackney, they provide free school meals to every child. The government only funds 62% of these pupils, but the schools say the remaining 38% also live in households on universal credit. Many would go hungry if not for Mandeville's policy. It costs them £15,000 a year, but is not supported by government funding.
Education is free. The food that they eat when they get being educated should be free. There shouldn't be a barrier to learning that's linked to how affluent their families are or not. What would normally happen is that at a certain point in a child's primary school career, they'll get to a point when those free school meals will end and families then have to try and work out where they're going to get the money from. So I had one parent come to me this week and she was really worried because she hadn't realised that we provide free school meals for children throughout school. So she was worried about where she was going to find that money from to provide her child with school dinners. So once I explained to her that free school meals are an entitlement throughout Mandeville, there was a huge relief. I mean, it's hard to accept that free school meals aren't available to every child in the country. I can't understand why we haven't, as a society.
Yeah, but the thing is, schools and the government should not need to provide free school meals. Why are the parents not in a good financial position where they can at least afford to feed their fucking youth, blood? All of this, the government should be able to make sure they got money to provide school meals for the pitney. No, the onus is on the fucking parents, blood. I'm doing more reaction videos to these, but there will be one video. Hopefully see this video first. There's one gal talking about, struggling for bills and that, struggling to feed the youths. The woman is on her 7th youth. She's on her 7th child. She's going to give birth to her 7th child soon. There's no smoke without fire. No wonder why you can't afford to feed all your pitney them. You're too busy getting nuts busted up in you instead of fucking... This aren't a joke thing, blood. on a joke thing, fam. The onus is on the parents and now. Why are the parents? How comes the parents cannot afford to feed their youths? Too many of these parents, they're not financially stable. They have no financial literacy. They just don't understand anything about life, but yet still they're popping out youths. And you know one thing that pisses me off that I hear parents say? I think it's so pathetic as well. Like I'll see some shit like just online and that Instagram and that. And a gal will post up pictures of her youths and be like, my greatest accomplishment. Really? Really? Your greatest accomplishment as a human being is producing children which are for free. Like, your greatest accomplishment isn't doing this, ain't doing that. You didn't go to the moon. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. You ain't accomplished all these things. No, your greatest accomplishment, your greatest achievement on this planet is giving birth or bringing kids into this world. What kind of fucking foolishness is that? How low the bar is for human beings now? That we're proud that we've just reproduced. Something that happens for free. Something that happens naturally. You don't have to put in no work to reproduce, blood. Ridiculous, blood. The bar is so low nowadays, it's fucking ridiculous. Man's really out here doing the limbo.
Been able to find a way to ensure that public funding goes to every child to ensure that they have a free school meal throughout. It is challenging. There are considerations that the school has to make in terms of the school budget, and it's not easy. And I suppose if it was easy, every school would do it, because I'm pretty sure that every school wants this for their children. A basic need for every human is a good, healthy meal. And the fact that we don't, as a country, make sure that that is the right for every child when they're going into school and isn't something that's linked to how much money your parents make is a travesty for me. It's wrong.
No parent wants to see their child go hungry, but the rising cost of living has been overwhelming.
The fuck is that?
At Spring Community Hub, a
No,
charity
that should be illegal.
that supports low-income families.
What the fuck
their
is
CEO
that, blood?
told us about mothers under pressure risking a criminal record to steal food for their families.
We did have a mother say, she actually confessed that she did go to store. She stole food and school uniform, and they caught her. She was screaming, "No, I won't give it."
No comment, blood.
Because my kids haven't got any school uniform and the food that she'd taken. But they recognised that she was really desperate. They let her go. When she got outside, they let her out. Another woman was out there waiting to see the outcome. And she asked her, "Why did you do that?" And she said, "Because my kids got no food to eat. They've got no clothes, no school uniform. And they've got to go to school." And the woman gave her some money to buy some. Every day there is a food bank session happening, as well as the other things that we do. But if we want to look at food banks, somebody's in need of our help every day. Most people don't want to come here. But what's more poignant is that it's more people who are working 2 to 3 jobs. We've always had people who've done multiple jobs, but there's more of them.
The government provides 1.9 million children in England.
You're working 2 to 3 jobs, but you're working shit low paying jobs. The reason why you're working shit low paying jobs is because you haven't got yourself a skill, you haven't educated yourself, you did not make no sacrifice. Ain't no fucking banker or lawyer working 2 to 3 fucking jobs. The only people that work 2 to 3 jobs is people that have usually working low paying shit jobs. Because if you was earning enough, you wouldn't be working these 2 to 3 jobs and that, blood. There's no small without fire. The reason why they're working 2 to 3 jobs, the reason why they have to, is because they didn't educate themselves, they didn't get themselves a skill. Now, if these are foreign people from some foreign country and that, where they never had education, whatever, innit? But I'm talking about the people that are born in Britain and that are struggling, blood. If you're born in Britain, you should not be fucking struggling. If you're born in Britain with a healthy body, healthy brain, and you're struggling, it's down to you. You've made some mistakes along the way. I've said this before, I must say it again. Everybody that's in a bad financial state. They don't like their living situation. Their life is fucked up. I guarantee you, apart from the people them that have disabilities and that, or they was locked in a man's basement for 10 years, or they had acid thrown in their face, or they have some serious mental illness and that. If I reviewed their timeline with them, I can pinpoint that pivotal moment where they fucked up. They was born, they went to school, they went to college, they dropped out of college. BAM! Right then and there, that's where you fucked up, blood. Certain man, they was in college, they dropped out of this course, they started that course, they didn't complete it, then they went on to that course. Next thing you know, they're 19 years old, they're gone on 20. Now, the free education, remember back in college and that, from the age of 16 to 19, it was free. After the age of 90, when you hit 20, you have to fund it yourself. Certain man just think, blood, you know what, fuck this is long, blood. I ain't got peas, I ain't got $3,500 to pay for this course, blood. I don't even know where this course is going to take me. But I'm just going to try this, try that, try this, try that. Next thing you know, before you blink, my brother, you spent a decade of your life fucking about, going with the flow. Next thing you know, you're 30 years old, you got 2 youths, but you're broke. Fam, man's 30 right now. Blood, it was only the other day, fam, man was 20, you know. It was only the other day, blood. It was 4 days before my 21st birthday and I was taking my driving test and I passed first time. That felt like the other day. Before you blink, blood, your decade of your life gone by, your 20s fly by. Trust me.
With free school meals, including all pupils from reception to year 2. About 800,000 children live in households in universal credit that do not qualify. A YouGov poll shows 72% of the public think this unfair. They say free school meals should be extended to all children in poverty. If you agree, write to your local MP.
That's basically it. Stay wise, done though.